Hi, my name is Suzan Fenner, and I am chair of the board of Texas Lawyers Insurance Exchange. For about 35 years, I was a partner with Gardner Wynn Sewell and its predecessors in Dallas. And I wanted to spend a few minutes today talking about different kinds of relationships that I recommend that you develop during your legal career and how they can help you. The first type of relationship that I recommend is to find a mentor. Now, you're probably not going to have the same mentor necessarily for your whole career. You might need someone to help you just figure out how to get started as a new lawyer, if that's where you are in your career right now. Where can you find those mentors? Well, your local bar association may have a program, or your law school may have a program, or if not, just maybe look at the alumni in your area from your law school, because they're often very happy to help out a new lawyer get started in their area. So that would be a good place to look. As you get further along in your career, you might want to pick someone that is either more experienced in the area where you're practicing, or someone who has some types of expertise that you perceive in how to make it all work. For example, as a woman lawyer with a couple of kids that actually developed into great adults, I've had several young women come to me and say, can you mentor me on how to make family and practice work? How can I make myself be able to perform well in my practice environment? How can I make partner and still have a home life and still have quality time with my kids and that sort of thing? So your situation is different from mine perhaps, but I think you will know areas where you feel like having a mentor to help guide you, give you some words of wisdom from someone who's already been there before, to help you find a satisfying career and enjoy your life at the same time. Another kind of relationship that I suggest that you develop are relationships with other lawyers who are doing the same thing you are. That's good for referrals. You can refer work to them. They can refer work to you. It's good for bouncing ideas. I've got this problem and I can't figure out how to solve it. Or how would you help me strategize in creating this type of document or whatever. Having other people that do the same thing you do can be very helpful in that regard. It also might be helpful if you're in some specialty where legal developments exist all the time. You might want to form a study group and regularly get together to talk about what's going on. What are the new things in your practice area, or what are developments that you might want to consider? Also, don't just limit your contacts to lawyers in your specialty. You might want to expand out to lawyers that do other things. They may need your specialty sometime. You may need their specialty sometime. If you're in a small firm, you can't possibly have resources that will cover everything that your client may need. So developing those relationships and being able to call on other lawyers who will help you in areas that you are not where you don't have expertise, would be the right thing to do for your client, and also would help develop those relationships so maybe they'll think of you when you have the expertise that they may need. I found, even working in a large firm, that I had a number of lawyers that would contact me when they had problems or situations in my practice area. And when you form those relationships, it's important that you have some ground rules in that relationship. For example, if you're going to another law firm to get an expertise in area A, but they also do area B, which might be your area, you want to make sure that those lawyers are protective of your client relationships and they're not going to try to steal the client away from you. So having that discussion before the referral is a good thing to do. Both ways. Say, if you refer me work, I'm not going to try to steal your client away from you for other things, and I would hope that you wouldn't do the same thing. And I think if you have those conversations honestly with those other lawyers, they're going to understand that there's a mutual benefit there to that relationship, and that'll be good. Another area to think about in developing relationships is other kinds of professionals. In your practice, over the years, you're going to find that you need the services of other professionals to help your clients in different things that you may be related to but are not. And so developing those relationships with CPAs, with bankers, with types of professionals in your area. For example, if you're an environmental lawyer, then you're going to need to know people that do the type of work that would produce reports or whatever in the environmental field, and similar things like that. Those people can refer work to you, but they also can be great resources to make you look good to your clients. So I recommend that you develop a wide network of friends in that regard. How do you get potential clients? Well, obviously, we try to get our word out about what a wonderful lawyer we are, but I think just getting involved in your community is very important. Join organizations where you'll get to meet people. Go to work and do work for nonprofits. Help them with their fundraising campaigns. Do some of the grunt work that every nonprofit needs. Serve on their boards. Almost all nonprofits are looking for good quality board members. And while you're doing that, you're going to meet other people that are equally interested in that particular nonprofit's work, but also are involved in the community, but usually they're from other businesses and stuff. And what do you know, sooner or later they're going to need your help too. And so those relationships are great. Now, there is a word of caution. Joining a board and just being somebody that's there part of the time, or being somebody that just sits at the table and never really does anything, can hurt you more than help you. So if you're going to take on assignments like that, do them well, do them promptly, be there, contribute your good ideas so that you will do your work well for that nonprofit, and then people will think of you as being someone that has good creative ideas, does jobs that they say that they will do, and that would reflect well on your legal practice skills as well. So don't do it if you're not going to do a good job, because that'll hurt you rather than help you. But if you do that, then I think that's really going to be helpful in your career. Plus, it'll be something that you'll find to be enjoyable and worthwhile. And think of other situations. Your church, if you get involved there, you're going to see people in the community that have legal matters that will think of you for referrals, so that you can use your legal referral network, or for your own work too. And anytime you do that, don't do it solely for the benefit of getting to know potential clients. Do it for the right reasons, but you can use those relationships for your benefit too. One other area that I think a lot of people don't think about in developing relationships, which I personally found to be the most beneficial way to develop business, and this isn't something that's going to happen immediately, but in the long term, and that is to make friends with people that are junior in your client's business. For example, an assistant to the person that is sending you business today from a particular client. Those people aren't going to stay assistants forever. They're going to grow and mature, and they're going to be the ones that in the future are going to have their boss's job or a similar job in some other organization. If you make those relationships when they're in their formative stages, they're going to appreciate the fact that you recognize that they were there. If you answer their questions and don't make them feel like they're stupid questions, if you give them some free help, if you do things proactively to help them look good to their boss, they're going to remember that forever. and they're going to come back to you in the future. Some of my biggest client relationships were relationships that were started because I was a friend to someone who needed me back when they were beginning in their professional life. And I reached out to them and I helped them look good and learn and become better at their jobs. And they remembered that later. And so they called on me when they were in a position to be able to refer business. So it may be years. You may never see a lot of them again, but a lot of them you will. And that will be one of the best things that ever happened to you from a professional. So in summary, be sure that you think about all the different kinds of relationships that you see. You don't want to be perceived as only looking at business development and trolling all the time, because that is a big turnoff. But if you're genuine with people, if you try to develop all different kinds of relationships, then I think you will find that that's a very valuable situation for you in your practice. And it's also fun. I mean, it's always nice to have lots of people that you find that you can count as friends. So good luck in your practice, and I hope you use some of the hints that I gave you today. Thank you.